One of the things that confused me a lot when I started working with Git is what happens when you delete a file. A file deletion in Git is another file event, just like anything else. So when you delete a file, it's going to ask you to add it to the staging environment and then push it onto commit. So let me show you what happens. So I'll open up this project folder and I'm just going to get rid of this about.html document. On a Mac, I can just hit Command and then hit the delete key. That'll move that to the trash. And you'll notice that it's gone in my projects folder in my text editor. It's kind of smart. It updates every so often. But if I do a git status now, it noticed that a file has been deleted. So it's expecting that file to be there. And I can do a couple of things here. If I want to just get the file from the staging environment, I can just check it out by saying git checkout and then about.html. And this is sort of like an undelete command. So if I hit that, you'll notice that the file appears over here. And once again, it's in this project folder. So I just set things back to the way that they used to be. Let's go ahead and do a git status again. And you'll see that there's nothing going on. So let's go ahead and delete it again and show you what would happen if I really did want to delete that file. I'll do a git status here. And notice that just like before, it's telling me that the changes haven't been staged for commit. So it notices that this file has been deleted. And the other option I have here is to add the deletion into staging, which means that I have deleted this file and I meant to do it using the operating system. And this is something that I want to push through to staging. So I'll just do git add and then about.html. Remember that I can also say git add period if I wanted to do an entire directory. And so now let's go ahead and clear. And when I do git status, now the deletion has been moved into staging. And now I can push that over and commit that deletion so that it is stored in the commit logs. So if I want to undo this, just like before, I can just read up here in the directions are and say git reset head and about.html. So that unstages those changes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the status. So it now notices that I still deleted that file. Now, because I rolled things back, I can now unstage the deletion. So I can do an undelete just by doing git add and then this about.html file. Or I can also say git rm about.html. And what that will do is let's clear this out and look at status. And it looks pretty much like what I did before. Now the difference is that when you do a git rm command, it can actually take care of deleting the file as well as moving everything into staging. That's actually a quicker process. So let's go ahead and hit git reset head. And it's a good idea to sort of practice these commands a lot. So now it's clear, get the status. So it should show that my file is still deleted. And I'll do a git checkout to get the file out of the staging environment back into my work environment. So this is like an undelete, right? So you can see that there's nothing going on in status and that we have the file back here just like we did before. So let's say that I do want to get rid of that file. If I do a git rm command and then I specify the file that I want to get rid of, .html, right, about.html. And if I hit return and I do a git status, notice that the file is gone. I deleted the file and it's no longer here either. It automatically removes the file as well as pushes that deletion into the staging environment. So this is the same thing as going into your desktop, deleting a file, and then issuing the git add command. So it does both of these at once. Now, the problem is I am so used to deleting files using my operating system or by right-clicking on my Sublime text editor that I often forget that I have to now add those things. So I actually end up using git rm very infrequently. Most of the time, I just sort of do the deletions and then I go, oh, I forgot I was supposed to add those deletions. And I have to issue like a git add command or a git rm command, which is sort of a pain, but that's how Git handles deletions. Now, a couple of things that I want you to notice is because I had this about document open right before I issued this git rm command, the text editor actually thinks that that file should still be somewhere. right now it's technically only in memory. So it's still showing me the about.html file, even though I deleted it. So if we wanted to, we could save it from here, or we could just close this out and say don't save, and now my file is gone. So let me show you one more way that we can handle these deletions. So let's go ahead and git reset. I know this is like a long way, but we'll just set everything back to the way it used to be, and then we'll do git checkout about.html. So this is like the undelete. Git status, everything should be good. We'll go ahead and clear this out and say that I did want to delete those files, and I had made like a bunch of changes. So let's delete this thing, file, okay, and say that I messed around with my project and I've added some files and I have modified some things in here, and I go to my git status and I notice, there's not only maybe this change, but maybe a whole bunch of other stuff in here. And I want to just sort of tell Git to just do everything. I could do git add, right? But this is going to only move the files into staging. What I can do is say git add minus all. And it's going to handle all the moving into staging, any deletions, all at the same time. So now if I do git status, notice that everything has been moved into staging and it's ready to be committed. That's really cool. So git add minus all is sort of a super push everything into staging. You just don't worry about what's been added or deleted. Just kind of grab everything and move it, and don't worry about having to do all the other stuff. So once again, I'm going to just make everything back to the way that it used to be, but we'll go ahead and just make it look like it did before. So we'll do git checkout about.html, and now my about file is back, and we'll do a git status. Everything should be clean. We'll go ahead and clear this out, and we'll have our files just the way they used to be at the beginning of this video. In order to get comfortable with Git, you have to master adding, deleting, and moving things from one queue to another. The ability to delete, undelete, and move files in and out of staging is going to give you something that is akin to a super undo and undelete capabilities that you haven't had before you had access to Git.